The Price of Peace, Part 1. First Contact Under Fire. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the ESV horizon, watching streams of light dance across the void. At first, she'd thought it was another aurora phenomenon from the nearby neutron star, but after 15 years in deep space, she knew better. These lights moved with purpose. Dr. Harrison. She called to her science officer. What are we looking at? Marcus Harrison's fingers flew across his holographic display, his dark skin illuminated by the shifting colors. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database, Captain. If I had to guess, I'd say we're watching a battle. The streams of light twisted and coalesced, forming intricate patterns that reminded Sarah of coral reefs back on Earth. Then darkness would sweep through, disrupting the patterns and sending fragments scattering like startled fish. The comparison wasn't lost on Sarah. Humanity had evolved as predators, and they recognized hunting patterns even in the depths of space. Multiple signatures approaching, Captain, called Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez from Tactical. The energy patterns are resolving into beings. They're trying to make contact. The main view screen flickered to life, showing what appeared to be a creature made of pure light. Its form shifted constantly, like sunlight reflecting off water, but maintained a vaguely humanoid shape. When it spoke, its voice resonated directly in their minds, carrying emotions of desperate hope and fear. Unknown vessel, we are the Luminary. Please, we need help. The Void Hunters, they found us again. Sarah felt the creature's terror wash over her. The Horizon's crew shifted uncomfortably at their stations, each feeling the emotional impact of the plea. Before she could respond, dark shapes emerged from the space behind the Luminary, moving with predatory grace. Multiple hostile contacts, Rodriguez reported, her training keeping her voice steady despite the alien fear trying to seep into her mind. They're using some kind of dark matter technology. Our sensors can barely track them. The Void Hunters lived up to their name. Their ships, if they could be called that, seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved like sharks through water, circling their luminescent prey with practiced efficiency. Please, the Luminary's mental voice grew more urgent. We are peaceful. We cannot fight them. Your vessel, it contains physical matter we can shelter within. Help us. Sarah's mind raced. The Horizon was an exploration vessel, not a warship. First contact protocols were clear about interfering in alien conflicts, but there was something about the Void Hunters' methodical approach that set off every predatory instinct humans had evolved over millions of years on Earth. Harrison. Analysis of the Void Hunters' weapons. Dark matter-based, Captain. They're literally trying to tear the Luminary apart at a quantum level. These aren't soldiers. They're feeding. The revelation hit Sarah like a physical blow. Humanity had evolved as persistence hunters, chasing prey until it collapsed from exhaustion, but they developed empathy alongside their predatory nature. The thought of sentient beings hunting others for food sparked something primal in her. Rodriguez, defensive screen status. Shields at maximum, but these dark matter weapons might pass right through them. Engineering. What about our hull? Chief Engineer Patel's voice came through clear and confident. Hull is tungsten carbide composite, Captain. Dense enough to resist dark matter penetration, at least briefly. We could offer shelter. Sarah watched another Luminary fall to the Void Hunters, its light dissolving into darkness. The decision crystallized in her mind. Humanity had spent its evolution learning to protect the weak while channeling its predatory instincts. Perhaps this was why they'd evolved as they had. To be here, in this moment. Open a channel to the Luminary, she ordered. Tell them to fall back to our position. We'll extend our shields around as many as we can fit in our cargo holds. Rodriguez, ready point defense systems. Let's show these Void Hunters what happens when they hunt in human territory. The Horizon's engines thrummed to life as Sarah took manual control. The ship moved with purpose, inserting itself between the retreating Luminary and their pursuers. Warning shots from the ship's railguns streaked across space, primitive by some standards, but highly effective against any physical target. The Void Hunters pulled up short, clearly surprised by the intervention of a solid matter vessel. Their dark forms roiled with what might have been confusion or anger. A new voice echoed in their minds, cold and hungry. "This is not your concern, Solid Ones. The Luminary are our prey by right of ancient compact. Withdraw or be destroyed." Sarah smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "This is Captain Chen of the Earth ship Horizon. You're attacking sentient beings in our patrol space. By our ancient compact, the one written in our DNA over millions of years of evolution, we protect those who need protection. Last warning, back off." The Void Hunters responded with action rather than words. Dark matter tendrils lashed out at the Horizon's hull. Warning lights flashed across engineering displays, but the dense metal held. Humanity had evolved on a planet with crushing gravity and constant meteorite bombardment. They built their ships tough. "Return fire," Sarah ordered. "Show them why you don't corner something that evolved as an apex predator." The Horizon's weapons might have been primitive compared to dark matter technology, but physics was physics. Railgun rounds accelerated to relativistic speeds punched through the Void Hunters' dark matter forms, disrupting their cohesion. Point defense lasers, designed to track and destroy incoming debris, proved remarkably effective at dispersing their shadowy mass. Inside the cargo hold, the Luminary clustered together, their light pulsing with a mixture of fear and fascination. They had never seen physical beings move with such confidence, never witnessed creatures using solid matter as both shield and weapon. The human's ability to act decisively in combat, born from millions of years of evolution as pursuit predators, was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. "Captain," Harrison called out, "I'm detecting quantum fluctuations in the Void Hunters' formation. I think they're preparing for something big." Sarah watched the dark shapes coalesce into a massive form. The remaining Luminary pressed closer to the Horizon's hull, seeking protection in its dense matter. She felt their collective fear, but also their growing hope. They had found defenders in humanity's predatory children, beings whose very nature made them perfect protectors. "All hands, brace for impact," Sarah announced, her voice carrying the calm confidence of a species that had survived everything their homeworld had thrown at them. "Let's show the galaxy why humans are called Deathworlders." The Void Hunters charge, dark matter roiling around them like a storm. The Horizon's engines powered up, its human crew ready to prove that sometimes the most dangerous predator could become the strongest shield. The real battle was about to begin, and humanity's role in the galaxy was about to change forever. Through the viewport, stars continued their eternal dance, indifferent to the clash between light, darkness, and the solid matter beings who had chosen their side. The price of peace would be paid in full, and humanity would show why evolution on Earth had prepared them for exactly this moment. The price of peace. Part 2. The human factor. The cargo bay of the ESV Horizon had never been so alive with light. Hundreds of luminary clustered within the reinforced space, their forms casting ever-shifting patterns across the metallic walls. Dr. Marcus Harrison stood at the entrance, his scientific curiosity warring with his natural caution as he recorded their first detailed observations of the energy beings. "Your bodies," one of the luminaries spoke directly into his mind, its form brightening with curiosity of its own. "They're so dense. How do you move with such weight?" Marcus smiled, remembering how his own fascination with alien life had led him to deep space. "We evolved on a world with high gravity. What feels heavy to you is natural to us. Earth shaped everything about us, our dense bones, strong muscles, even our thinking patterns." The luminary pulsed with interest, its light forming complex patterns that Marcus's instruments struggled to analyze. "Yet you choose to help us, despite being so different. Your people are predators. We feel the hunter's instincts in your minds, but you use that strength to protect." "Being a predator taught us more than just hunting," Marcus replied, adjusting his sensors to better track the quantum fluctuations in the luminary's form. It taught us strategy, cooperation, and most importantly, the responsibility that comes with power. In the ship's engineering section, Chief Engineer Patel worked alongside several luminari. Their combined expertise focused on a unique problem. The Void Hunter's last attack had revealed weaknesses in the Horizon's defenses. Dark matter weapons could, given enough time, penetrate even the densest physical armor. If we could somehow integrate your energy manipulation abilities with our shield technology, Patil mused, her fingers dancing across engineering displays, we might be able to create a hybrid defense system. The luminary engineering specialist, they had difficulty pronouncing its name, so the crew called it Spark, flowed through the ship's shield emitters, its light interacting with the electromagnetic fields in ways that defied conventional physics. Your technology is primitive by some standards, Spark communicated, but its very simplicity makes it adaptable. We never considered using physical matter as a foundation for energy manipulation. Humans had to be adaptable. Paddle replied, making adjustments based on the luminary's interactions with the shield grid. Earth threw everything at us. Predators, natural disasters, climate changes. We survived by learning to use whatever tools were available. On the bridge, Captain Chen studied tactical displays with Lieutenant Rodriguez. The Void Hunters had withdrawn to regroup, but long-range sensors showed them gathering reinforcements. Dark matter distortions suggested they were preparing for a major assault. They're not used to prey that fights back, Rodriguez observed, her tactical training helping her analyze the Void Hunters' movements. Look at their formation. They're still treating us like herbivores who'll eventually tire and give up. Then they don't understand human evolution very well, Sarah replied, remembering her xenobiology studies. We're persistence hunters. We didn't evolve to give up. The tactical officer nodded, making adjustments to the weapon systems based on data from their first engagement. The luminaries say they've been running from the Void Hunters for generations. No one ever stood and fought beside them before. Maybe that's why we developed as we did on Earth, Sarah mused. Not just to survive our world, but to be able to help others survive theirs. In the medical bay, Dr. Maya Wong worked with another group of luminari, studying the effects of dark matter weapons on their energy-based physiology. The ship's medical sensors, designed to handle human biology, required creative modification to analyze beings of pure light. The damage is similar to cellular degradation in physical beings, Maya explained to her luminescent patients. The dark matter disrupts your energy patterns the same way radiation disrupts our DNA. You understand destruction well, one injured luminary observed, its light flickering weakly. Your world must have been terrible to create beings with such knowledge. Maya's hands moved surely as she adjusted the electromagnetic field generators, creating safe spaces for the injured luminary to recover. Earth taught us about healing too. Every danger we faced led to new ways of saving lives. Knowledge of destruction helps us prevent it. The luminary's light stabilized under her care. We thought physical beings were all like the Void Hunters, concerned only with consuming, taking, destroying. You show us a different way. Throughout the ship, humans and luminary worked together, each species learning from the other. The luminary's ability to manipulate energy at a quantum level complemented human technological innovation. The humans' experience with physical defense and tactical thinking filled gaps in luminary knowledge. In the ship's laboratory, Marcus made a breakthrough while studying the interaction between luminary energy patterns and human brain activity. Captain, he called over the intercom, excitement clear in his voice. I think I know why we can communicate with the luminary so easily. Our brains evolved to process complex sensory information. We're naturally adapted to receive their quantum-level communications. Another gift from our demanding evolution, Sarah replied. Can we use that connection somehow? Better than that, Marcus said. The luminary can enhance our neural processing speed. They're already doing it unconsciously when they communicate with us. If we make it deliberate, the implications were staggering. Humans' natural predatory reaction speed, already fast by galactic standards, could be further enhanced by luminary energy manipulation. Their threatening evolutionary traits could be turned into something even more powerful when combined with luminary abilities. In engineering, Patel's work with Spark produced equally promising results. The luminary can exist within our shield matrix, she reported. By combining their energy manipulation with our physical technology, we can create defenses that adapt faster than the Void Hunters can attack. Sarah felt hope rising as reports came in from throughout the ship. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt, to take the harsh lessons of evolution and turn them into tools for survival. Now those same adaptations were proving crucial for saving another species. "We're getting more dark matter signatures," Rodriguez reported from Tactical. "The Void Hunters are coming back, and they're bringing an army." Sarah watched the sensor displays, her expression determined. Humanity had spent millions of years evolving to face threats, developing not just physical capabilities but complex problem-solving skills. The Void Hunters were about to learn why challenging human ingenuity was a dangerous mistake. "Send word to all sections," she ordered. "It's time to test our improvements. Let's show them what happens when human adaptation meets luminary energy manipulation." The Horizon's systems hummed with new power as luminary energy merged with human technology. In the cargo bay, the rescued beings of light prepared to add their strength to the ship's defenses. Throughout the vessel, humans stood ready at their stations, their evolved instincts sharpened by luminary enhancement. The real test of their cooperation was about to begin, and the galaxy would learn that humanity's evolutionary path had prepared them to be more than just survivors. They would be protectors, turning the very traits that made them dangerous into a shield for those who needed defending. The Price of Peace. Part 3. Predators become protectors. The void between stars erupted with darkness as the Void Hunter fleet emerged from quantum space. Lieutenant Rodriguez counted 30 ships, their dark matter forms writhing against the starlight. The tactical display showed them moving in attack formations that triggered recognition in her predator's brain. Pack hunters surrounding their prey. "They're trying to intimidate us," Sarah observed from the captain's chair, her voice carrying the calm of an apex predator. The luminary's neural enhancement had sharpened her already keen senses, letting her process tactical information with unprecedented speed. "Show me their attack vector analysis." A holographic display above the bridge showed the Void Hunters' approach patterns in red, contrasting with the Horizon's blue defensive position. The patterns were familiar to anyone who had studied Earth's wildlife: wolves circling a larger prey animal, sharks herding fish into a killing zone. "They still think like hunters," Sarah said, a grim smile forming. "But they've never faced prey that evolved to hunt back." Throughout the ship, humans and luminary worked in seamless coordination. The energy beings had learned to interface with the ship's systems, their quantum-level awareness enhancing human reaction speeds and decision-making capabilities. In return, human tactical thinking and predatory instincts gave direction to luminary power. In engineering, Chief Patel watched energy readings spike as Spark and its fellow luminary fed power into the hybrid shield system. The combination of physical technology and energy manipulation had created defenses unlike anything in known space. "Shield harmonics stable," she reported. "The luminary are successfully integrating with the emitter grid." "Multiple targeting locks detected," Rodriguez announced, her enhanced reflexes allowing her to track dozens of threat indicators simultaneously. "They're coordinating their attack. All ships will fire simultaneously." "Defensive pattern Alpha," Sarah ordered. "Show them what Earth's gravity well taught us about absorbing punishment." The Void Hunters struck as one, dark matter weapons lashing out at the horizon. But instead of trying to evade, the human ship held position. The hybrid shields lit up with unprecedented energy as luminary power merged with human engineering. Dark matter splashed against the defenses like water on rock. "Shields holding at 80%, Paddle reported, her fingers dancing across engineering controls. "The luminary are adapting our shield frequency to match the attack pattern. Each hit makes us stronger." In the cargo bay turned emergency shelter, Dr. Harrison worked with the civilian luminary, using their combined abilities to process sensor data. "Captain," he called over the intercom, "we're detecting quantum fluctuations in their attack pattern. They're trying to synchronize their dark matter weapons to bypass our defenses." "Time to show them why humans don't just absorb hits," Sarah responded. "Tactical. Implement attack pattern Delta. Let's put our persistence hunting skills to use." The Horizon's engines roared to life, the ship moving with surprising agility for its size. Humanity had evolved to chase prey across vast distances, and their ship designs reflected that stamina. While the Void Hunters tried to maintain their coordinated attack formation, the Horizon began a complex evasion pattern that forced them to constantly readjust. "They're breaking formation," Rodriguez reported, predatory satisfaction in her voice. "Their pack-hunting strategy fails if they can't maintain coordination." Sarah nodded, recognizing the moment when prey became predator. "Target their lead ships. Use the modified railguns. Let's see how they handle physically dense projectiles enhanced by luminary energy." The Horizon's main weapons fired, launching tungsten carbide rounds wrapped in luminary energy fields. The combination proved devastating. Where normal matter would have passed through the Void Hunters' dark matter forms, these enhanced projectiles disrupted their very structure. 2 hunter ships dissolved into quantum static. "We're detecting changes in their energy signatures," Harrison reported from his station. "They're afraid. They've never encountered prey that could hurt them before." "Fear is an evolutionary teacher," Sarah replied, memories of Earth's harsh lessons flowing through her mind. "Time to advance their education. All weapons, concentrated fire on their command ship." The Horizon's full arsenal opened up, physical weapons enhanced by luminary power tearing through space. The Void Hunters tried to regroup, but their coordination was shattered. Individual ships began breaking off, their dark matter forms flickering with uncertainty. In the medical bay, Dr. Wong monitored the neural interface between humans and luminary. "The connection is holding steady," she reported. "Our brains are fully adapting to processing quantum-level information. We're thinking faster, reacting more quickly. It's like millions of years of evolution compressed into moments." The Void Hunters attempted one final desperate assault. Their remaining ships merged into a single massive form, a dark matter leviathan that threatened to engulf the Horizon entirely. But humanity had faced extinction-level threats before. Earth's history was written in the genes of species that survived when others perished. "All luminary, full power to shields," Sarah commanded. "Engineering, divert all non-essential power to weapons. Show them what happens when you corner something that evolved to never give up." The battle that followed would be remembered in galactic history. The Horizon, a single ship crewed by Deathworld predators and energy beings, stood its ground against a force that had terrorized this sector for generations. Human determination merged with luminary power, creating a defense that turned the Hunters' own strength against them. "Their cohesion is failing," Rodriguez reported, tracking the massive dark matter form as it began to break apart. "The combined attack is too much for them to maintain." Sarah watched through enhanced senses as the Void Hunters' final form dissolved, their remaining ships scattering into quantum space. Victory had come not through overwhelming force, but through the combination of human adaptability and luminary capabilities. Throughout the ship, humans and luminary celebrated together. The energy being's light pulsed with joy and gratitude, while human crew members felt the satisfaction of protecting those who needed help. They had proven that the very traits that made humans dangerous could make them the greatest allies. "Send a message to the retreating Void Hunters," Sarah ordered, her voice carrying the weight of evolutionary triumph. "Tell them that this sector is under human protection now. The hunting grounds are closed." As the message was transmitted, Dr. Harrison made his way to the bridge, his expression thoughtful. "Captain, the Luminary have a request. They want to establish a permanent alliance with humanity. They say our predatory strength, turned to protection, is exactly what their people have always needed." Sarah smiled, thinking of how far humanity had come from its primitive hunting days. They had evolved as predators, yes, but they had chosen to be protectors. The harsh lessons of Earth had taught them not just how to fight, but when to fight, and more importantly, what to fight for. "Tell them we'd be honored," she replied. After all, Earth taught us that the strongest survive not by hunting alone, but by protecting their own. And today, we just expanded the definition of our own to include beings of pure light. The stars seemed to shine brighter as the horizon secured its victory. Humanity's role in the galaxy forever changed. They had proven that being a predator species didn't condemn them to being monsters. Instead, their evolutionary path had prepared them to be exactly what the galaxy needed: protectors with the strength and will to stand against any threat. The darkness before dawn. Space rippled like disturbed water as hundreds of Void Hunter vessels emerged from quantum space. The tactical display on the horizon's bridge turned almost black with their signatures, each ship a wound in the fabric of reality. Captain Sarah Chen felt the luminary's fear pulse through their neural link, but underneath it was something stronger: hope. "I count over 300 vessels," Rodriguez reported, her enhanced senses processing the flood of tactical data. They'd brought their entire hunting fleet. Multiple quantum signatures suggest they're preparing to merge into larger forms. Sarah watched the Void Hunters begin their deployment, her mind racing with possibilities. Earth's evolutionary history had taught humanity that superior numbers didn't always guarantee victory. Sometimes, the cleverer predator won. "Dr. Harrison, what have you learned about their quantum merger process?" she asked, already forming a plan. Marcus's voice came through the intercom, excited despite the dire situation. "The luminary helped us analyze it. When they combine ships, they become more powerful but less stable. The bigger the merger, the more energy they need to maintain cohesion, and the more vulnerable they become to disruption." Sarah finished. She turned to her tactical officer. "Rodriguez, remember studying pack predator behavior. What happens when the pack gets too large?" "They become unwieldy, harder to coordinate," Rodriguez replied, recognition dawning in her eyes. "Individual members start acting on instinct rather than strategy." In engineering, Chief Patel worked with Spark to push the hybrid shield system beyond its designed limits. The merger of human technology and luminary energy manipulation had proven more effective than either species had imagined, but now it would face its greatest test. "We're detecting massive energy buildups," Patel reported. "They're going to try to overwhelm us with sheer power." Through the neural link, Sarah felt the luminary's collective consciousness analyzing the situation. Their quantum-level awareness, combined with human tactical thinking, revealed patterns in the Void Hunters' movements that neither species could have recognized alone. "They're afraid," Sarah realized, reading the signs in their formation. "Not just of defeat, they're afraid of what we represent: a prey species that can fight back, protected by predators who hunt hunters." The first wave of Void Hunters attacked, their dark matter weapons lashing out at the horizon. But humanity had spent millions of years learning to predict predator behavior, and Sarah had positioned her ship perfectly. The hybrid shields flared with combined human and luminary power, dispersing the attack. "They're following standard pack hunting patterns," Rodriguez observed. "Probing attacks, looking for weaknesses. They still haven't adapted to fighting something that thinks like they do." In the cargo bay, now transformed into a command center for the civilian luminary, Dr. Harrison made a discovery that changed everything. "Captain, the Void Hunters' quantum mergers. They're not just tactical. They're feeding. They're trying to absorb enough energy to merge permanently." Sarah's enhanced mind processed the implications instantly. They're not just hunting the luminary for sustenance. They're trying to evolve, to become something bigger, something that can't be threatened by prey that fights back. The Void Hunters began their main assault, ships combining into massive forms that twisted the very fabric of space. Dark matter tendrils reached for the horizon like hungry mouths, seeking to tear apart its hybrid defenses. "Shields at 60%. Patel called out. "The luminary are maintaining integrity, but we can't take this level of attack forever. Sarah felt sweat on her brow as she coordinated the defense. Humanity had survived on Earth by outthinking larger predators, by turning their strengths into weaknesses. Now those same lessons would determine the fate of two species. Harrison, if they're feeding on energy to maintain their merged forms, she began. Then we can give them indigestion, he finished, catching her thought through the neural link. The luminary can modulate their energy signatures to disrupt the mergers. But we'd need to get close, really close. Sarah smiled, the expression pure predator. Close combat with a larger enemy. That's something Earth taught us well. All hands, prepare for implementation of Battle Plan Theta. The Horizon's engines roared to life, the ship diving straight toward the largest concentration of void hunters. It was the last thing they expected. Prey was supposed to run, to seek safety in distance. Instead, humanity's ship charged directly into danger. Luminary energy signature modulating, Harrison reported. Ready on your mark. Engineering reports hybrid shields reconfigured, Patil added. We can survive 12 seconds of direct contact. Weapons primed for point-blank discharge, Rodriguez confirmed. Just like hunting big game on Earth, get inside their reach. The Void Hunters, faced with prey that turned to fight, hesitated for a crucial moment. Their merged forms began to shift, trying to adapt to this unprecedented strategy. But adaptation was humanity's specialty, earned through millions of years of survival on an unforgiving world. Now, Sarah commanded. The Horizon plunged into the heart of the largest Void Hunter merger, its hybrid shields flaring with carefully modulated energy. The luminary poured their power into the ship's systems, creating quantum disruptions that played havoc with the dark matter entity's cohesion. At point-blank range, the ship's enhanced weapons tore into the unstable mass. Alarms blared throughout the ship as systems redlined. Warning lights flashed across every console as the Horizon pushed itself beyond its design limits. But humans had evolved to push limits, to endure what should have been unsurvivable. Multiple quantum cascade failures detected, Harrison shouted over the noise. Their merger is collapsing. The massive Void Hunter form began to break apart, its carefully orchestrated energy patterns disrupted by the combined human and luminary assault. Individual ships emerged from the dissolving mass, their movements uncoordinated, panicked. Their command structure is failing, Rodriguez reported, her enhanced senses tracking the chaos spreading through the enemy fleet. The smaller ships are reverting to instinctive responses. They're starting to turn on each other. Sarah watched through the neural link as the Void Hunters' mighty hunting fleet devolved into confused individual units. Without their ability to merge safely, their numerical advantage became a liability. Ships collided in their panic to escape. Dark matter weapons fired wildly into space. Send the message, she ordered. Let them know that this sector of space is off-limits to hunters. The age of prey living in fear is over. As the remaining Void Hunters flowed into quantum space, the Horizon's crew and their luminary allies shared a moment of triumph. They had proven that the very traits that made humans dangerous, their predatory instincts, their ability to endure, their drive to fight, could be turned to the defense of peace. But even in victory, Sarah felt uncertainty through the neural link. The Void Hunters were wounded but not destroyed. They would return, perhaps with new strategies, new adaptations. The war for this sector of space was just beginning. Captain, Harrison called from his station, the Luminary are requesting to speak with Earth's leadership. They say we've shown them a new path, a way for different species to become stronger together. Sarah nodded, understanding the deeper truth. Humanity had evolved as predators, yes, but they had chosen to be protectors. Now that choice would reshape the galaxy, as other species learned that the most dangerous hunters could become the strongest defenders. The real challenge lay ahead, teaching the galaxy that peace didn't mean weakness, that protection could come from the most unexpected sources. But humans had spent their entire evolution adapting to challenges. This would just be the next step in their species' growth. Light in the void. 1 month after the battle that changed the galaxy, the HFY Horizon floated in high orbit above Earth. Through the ship's viewports, Captain Sarah Chen watched luminary representatives emerge from their transport vessel, their light forms casting rainbow patterns across the space station's crystalline diplomatic chamber. The neural link they shared carried waves of amazement as the energy beings got their first look at humanity's homeworld. "Your world," the luminary ambassador communicated, its form pulsing with complex emotions. "It's so intense. The gravity, the radiation, the atmospheric pressure. How did life even begin here, let alone evolve intelligence?" "That's exactly why we evolved as we did," Sarah replied, feeling Earth's familiar pull even from orbit. "Every challenge made us stronger, forced us to adapt. We became predators because we had to, but we learned to be more than that." The diplomatic chamber was filled with representatives from dozens of species, all drawn by news of the Horizon's victory over the Void Hunters. Many had come expecting to find monsters, the infamous Deathworlders who could fight the galaxy's most feared predators. Instead, they found protectors. Dr. Harrison stood at a holographic display, sharing the combined human luminary research with the gathered delegates. "The neural interface we developed," he explained, "proves that different evolutionary paths can complement each other. Humanity's predatory instincts and physical adaptations, combined with luminary energy manipulation, created something entirely new." The display showed footage from the battle, highlighting how the Horizon had turned apparent weaknesses into strengths. The very density that made humans seem slow and primitive had allowed them to withstand attacks that would have destroyed most species. Their predatory nature, feared across the galaxy, had given them the tactical insight to protect others. In engineering, Chief Patel and Spark demonstrated the hybrid shield technology they'd developed. "This is just the beginning," Patel told the amazed observers. "When different species work together, sharing their evolutionary advantages instead of fearing them, we can achieve things none of us could manage alone." The luminary's light merged with the shield generators, creating displays of power that made the diplomatic delegates step back in awe. What they were seeing challenged centuries of assumptions about evolution and cooperation. Species that evolved on gentle worlds could work with Deathworlders, each contributing their unique strengths. Lieutenant Rodriguez led a tactical briefing, sharing the lessons learned from fighting the Void Hunters. "They failed because they couldn't adapt," she explained. "They saw strength only in terms of power and numbers, but humanity's evolution taught us that true strength comes in many forms." Through the neural link, Sarah felt the shifting attitudes of the gathered species. Fear of humanity's predatory nature was being replaced by understanding. They had evolved as hunters, yes, but that same evolution had taught them the importance of protecting their own. And now, their definition of their own had expanded to include all peaceful species. "We've received word," Dr. Wong announced, entering the chamber with fresh data. "The Void Hunters have been detected gathering near the galaxy's core. They're evolving, adapting to their defeat. Next time they return, they'll be stronger." The announcement might have caused panic once, but now the assembled delegates shared determined looks. Humanity had shown them a new way, proven that evolution didn't have to be a barrier between species. "Let them come," Sarah said, her voice carrying the confidence of a predator turned protector. "Earth taught us that evolution never stops. Every challenge makes us stronger, especially when we face it together." The luminary ambassador's light pulsed with agreement. "We feared your predatory nature when we first met. Now we understand. You became hunters so you could learn to be defenders. Your harsh world forged you not into monsters, but into protectors of peace." More species were already requesting human protection, offering to share their own evolutionary advantages in return. Some had developed incredible sensory capabilities on their low-light worlds. Others had evolved unique forms of communication or natural defenses. Each brought something valuable to the growing alliance. In the weeks that followed, the Horizon's success sparked a transformation across known space. The term Deathworlder began to change meaning. Where once it had been a mark of fear, now it became a symbol of hope. Humanity's predatory evolution, combined with their choice to protect rather than dominate, offered a new model for galactic civilization. Research stations were established, combining the knowledge of multiple species. The luminaries' energy manipulation techniques were adapted for different physiologies. Human tactical thinking and endurance were studied and integrated into defensive strategies. Each species contributed their evolutionary advantages to the greater whole. Sarah stood in the Horizon's cargo bay, now permanently modified to accommodate their luminary crew members. Through the neural link, she felt the complex emotions of both species. Human determination merging with luminary wisdom, creating something greater than either alone. "We're receiving more distress calls," Rodriguez reported. "Other species asking for protection from various threats. The galaxy's starting to look to humanity not as monsters to be feared, but as guardians to be called upon." "Then we'll answer those calls," Sarah replied. "Earth taught us how to survive, how to fight, how to protect. Now we can share those lessons with others." The Horizon's engines hummed to life, preparing for their next mission. Through the viewports, Earth slowly receded, the harsh crucible that had forged humanity into something unique in the galaxy. They had evolved as predators, but chosen to be protectors. Now that choice would reshape the future of all species. As the ship entered quantum space, Sarah felt the combined consciousness of her human crew and their luminary allies. Together, they were proving that evolution's harshest lessons could become its greatest gifts. The price of peace was eternal vigilance, but humanity had spent millions of years evolving to be the perfect guardians. The stars streaked past as the Horizon moved to answer another call for help. In the space between worlds, predator and prey, hunter and protector, all merged into something new. A force for peace in a galaxy, learning that strength came in many forms, and that sometimes the most dangerous species could become the greatest defenders of all.